Namaste, welcome to design of spur gears. So let us have a sample problem. A sample problem is given here that reads, design a pair of spur gears to transmit 20 kilowatt at 900 rpm of the pinion. The pinion is made of cast steel having an allowable stress of 190 MPa. The gear is made of cast steel having an allowable stress of 100 MPa and rotates at 144 rpm. The number of teeth on pinion is 16. Check for wear to determine hardness of gears. Data given. Power P is equal to 20 kilowatt. Speed of pinion N1 is equal to 900 rpm. Speed of gear N2 is equal to 144 rpm. Allowable static stress of pinion material is 190 MPa, that is we denote it as sigma D1, that's equal to 190 MPa. It's nothing but 190 Newton per millimeter squared. And allowable static stress for gear material sigma D2 is equal to 100 MPa, that is 100 Newton per millimeter squared. Number of teeth on pinion Z1 is equal to 16. Essential data: pressure angle and tooth form. It's not given. Let us assume 20-degree stub tooth. Because in order to avoid interference, the minimum number of teeth required for 14.5-degree tooth form is 32, and for 20-degree full depth involutive is 18, and for 20-degree stub tooth is 14. So Z1 16 is suitable for 20-degree stub tooth. So class of gears is also not given. Let us assume class 1 gears, and the condition and the type of load is also not given. So let us assume light shocks and 8 to 10 hour per day service. Solution: velocity ratio I is equal to N1 by N2, that's equal to 900 by 144, gives us 6.25. Also we have velocity ratio I is equal to Z2 by Z1. Therefore, Z2, that is number of teeth on gear, is equal to I into Z1, that 6.25 into 16 gives us 100. Step 1. To identify the weaker member. For 20-degree stub tooth involute system, we have Y is equal to 0.175 minus 0.95 by Z, where Y is the Lewis form factor. Therefore, Y1, that is Lewis form factor for pinion, is 0.175 minus 0.95 by Z1, that's equal to 0.175 minus 0.95 by 16, gives us a 0.116. Similarly, Y2, that is Lewis form factor for gear, gives us a 0.1655. Now the product sigma D1 Y1 is 190 into 0.1156 gives us 21.96 Newton per millimeter square, and sigma D2 Y2 is 16.55 Newton per millimeter squared. This is for pinion and this is for gear. We see that sigma D2 Y2 is less than sigma D1 Y1, that is 16.55 is less than 21.96 Newton per millimeter square. So obviously gear is weaker, hence the design must be based on the gear. So whatever the parameters which are corresponding to the calculations of module or any other important parameters, so we must use subparameter corresponding to weaker member. So here in this case it is gear. Calculation of module M. So we have Lewis equation for beam strength as Ft is equal to pi into sigma d into Cv B y m. Sigma d is the allowable static stress. So in this case, since gear is weaker, allowable static stress of gear material we have to consider, that is sigma d is nothing but sigma d2, that's equal to 100 Newton per millimeter squared. And Lewis form factor y is nothing but y2, already calculated 0.1655. And substituting these values here for Ft, we get pi into 100 into Cv. Cv is the velocity factor, we retain as it is. And B is the face width, so we consider face width B is equal to 10 times module, because we know that the ratio K is equal to B by M. Therefore, B is equal to K into M. So K varies from 9.5 to 12.5. So we have taken 10, that is within the range. So that's why B is equal to 10 times module we have used here. And Y2 is 0.1655, and this is module M. So Ft is given by 519.93 module square into Cv. So let us call this as equation 1. Now the tangential tooth load is given by Ft. F suffix t is equal to 1000 into P into Cs by V. P is power, C suffix S is the service factor, C suffix S is the service factor, and V is the pitch line velocity of the gear, that is weaker member. And you know that we have assumed that light shocks and 8 to 10 are working. So CS service factor from table is 1.25, and velocity is pi dn by 60,000, and corresponding to the gear I have used D is D2 and N is N2, and you know that D is nothing but product of module and the number of teeth. So here D2 is nothing but M into Z2, we have used that, and Z2 is 100 already calculated, and N2 is 144. Substituting these values, that is Z2 is 100 and speed 144 rpm, we get velocity in terms of module as V is equal to 0.754 m meter per second. Now substituting these values, so we obtain Ft is equal to 33,156.50 by m. So now equating equation 1 and 2, that is beam strength is equal to tangential tooth load. So we get m cube Cv is equal to 63.77. For satisfactory design, m cube Cv must be greater than or equal to 63.77. So as a trial, actually this is a trial and error method, so we need to follow. As a trial, we have to substitute some value for module to find out whether LHS is greater than or equal to RHS. So now by Cv, this is velocity factor, which is always less than 1. So for time being, let us assume Cv as 0.5. If you assume Cv as 0.5 and m, so if you consider 1, so 0.5 is this value, LHS. So now let us take 2, that is 4 is the LHS, and if you consider 3 as module, that is 13.5, will be LHS. If you consider 4 and 32 will be LHS because CV has in 0.5, and if you consider let us assume m is equal to 5 now because that is 4, 3, 2 is very less. Let us try with m is equal to 5. Then velocity v is equal to 0.754 into 5. That gives us 3.77 meter per second, and velocity factor CV is equal to 3.05 by 3.05 plus v. This expression is used because velocity is less than 8 meter per second. According to Barthes, this expression for CV is suitable for velocity up to 8 meter per second. So now we get velocity factor as 0.4472. Substituting this value of CV and module m is equal to 5 mm in equation 3. Equation 3 is this. We get 55.90, which is less than 63.77. Hence m is equal to 5 mm is not suitable. So in the table 12.2 we have actual standard module. So there you can have m is equal to 6 mm. Let us take m is equal to 6 mm. So just we'll see that whether this one will satisfy or not. So now after substituting for velocity, we get velocity 4.524 meter per second, and this is also less than 8 meter per second. Hence velocity factor CV, the same expression we used, and we obtain 0.4027. Now substituting this module 6 and velocity factor 0.4027, we get 86.98. That is m cube CV is 86.98, which is greater than the required value, that is 63.77. Hence m is equal to 6 mm is suitable. So in the table we see that actually 5.5 mm is also there. That if you substitute 5.5 here, so that will also satisfy this condition, that is LHS will be greater than RHS. So that that will satisfy, but you know that in the table 5.5 mm is a second choice. It's better because we are doing practice. It's better to use first choice, that is 6 mm is a preferred choice. You know that some students they may use in the examinations, okay, in attention they may use 5.5 mm. That is also suitable actually for giving marks by the examiners. Examiners must give marks for that. So let us find out face width. B is equal to 10 times module, that is 60 mm. And now Ft, tangential to throw tangential force, is 5526 Newton. Step 3, check for the stress. Okay, induced stress sigma induced is given by Ft divided by B into Y into T. So B is the face width, that is 60 mm, and Y is nothing but Y2 in this case, that is pi. So Y2, that's 0.1655, and P is nothing but circular aperture, that is equal to pi into M. So we have substituted those values here, and we get sigma induced, that is induced stress is 29.52 Newton per millimeter square. So now allowable stress, so sigma allowable is equal to sigma d into CV. Sigma d is nothing but allowable static stress. So here gear is weaker, so hence we need to consider allowable static stress of the gear material, that is sigma d2. So now allowable stress sigma allowable is equal to sigma d2 into Cv. Sigma d2 is 100 and the Cv is 0.4027, which gives us 40.27 Newton per millimeter squared. So now we see that induced stress is less than allowable stress, that is 29.52 is less than 40.27 Newton per millimeter square. Hence the design is safe. Design is satisfactory. Now calculate the effective force or effective load. F effective is equal to Ft by Cv. So Ft is 5526 Newton by 0.4027. That gives us a 13,722.37 Newton. Next, dynamic strength Fs is equal to sigma d into b into capital Y into m. Capital Y is pi into small y. Here y is nothing but y2, that is 0.1655 here. So sigma d is nothing but sigma d2, that is 100, and b face width is 60 mm. So pi into 0.1655 and module is 6, so gives us 18,717.61 Newton. So now factor of safety is given by dynamic strength by effective force, that is 18,717.61 by 13,722.37, which gives us 1.36. Since Fs is greater than F effective, the design is satisfactory. But so in the video, that is a comprehensive spur gear design procedure, it is mentioned that FOS, if FOS is greater than 1.5, the design is satisfactory. But the FOS between 1.5 to 2 is a recommended value. Okay, so even this is also suitable, so hence design is safe. That is, you know that, for example, it's better you to to get 90% and above is very good. Okay, it is recommended. Your parents may expect that you should score 90 and above, but to get the distinction, even 70% and above is okay for certain examinations. Such a way, so this is also satisfactory. Step 4. Calculate all the important dimensions like pitch diameter of pinion, that is D1 is equal to M into Z1, that is 96 mm, and the pitch diameter of gear D2 is equal to M into Z2, that is D2 is 600 mm, and all other important parameters like addendum, dedendum, etc. using proportions given in table 12.3 and 12.4a, page 229 and 230. Some parameters are there in table 12.4a, so which are not there in 12.3. So you can make use of both the tables and arrive at that. And based on the pressure angle also you can use suitable table. Okay, table 12.4a, it is an American standard, so there different proportions are given for 20 degree stub tooth and 14.5 degree and 20 degree full depth involute. Next, step 5, dynamic load. Dynamic load Fd is given by Fd is equal to Ft plus K3V into C into B plus Ft divided by K3V plus square root of C into B plus Ft. So Ft is tangential force, so that is 5526 Newton. K3 is 20.67 in SI units. So V is 4.524 meter per second. Ft, K3, V. So now we need to find out C. B is 60 mm. Already I have calculated. That is given here. So only unknown is here, actually C. So C is given by C is equal to E divided by K1 into 1 by E1 plus 1 by E2. So K1 is 8.70 for 20-degree stub. I thought for class 1 gears and module M is equal to 6 mm. So error E is equal to 0.0652 mm from table 12.13. And for steels, the data handbook at the appendix at the end, it is given that E1 is equal to E2 is equal to 207 GPa. That is gigapascals. That is nothing but 207 into 10 to the power of 3 MPa or Newton per millimeter squared. So substituting these values, so we get C is equal to 775.66 Newton per millimeter or kilonewton per meter. If these moduli of elasticity for both pinion and gear are not given, then it's better to refer to the table 12.12 to obtain C value. So there actually that table is suitable only for steel and cast iron materials. So otherwise in the examination, the examiner should specify E1 and E2 values for different materials, like bronze or bronze or some other materials like that they have to give. So now from table for steel and for 20-degree stub tooth, so we have E is equal to 0.06 mm, 0.04 is there, 0.06 is there. So for 0.06 mm, we have C is equal to 712 Newton per mm. So by linear interpolations, we have for E is equal to 0.0652 mm, because error we found out from the table is 0.0652 mm for given module. Already we have obtained that 0.052 from table 12.13 for class 1 gears and module M is equal to 6 mm, we obtain this error. So for that error, we need to find out C value from the table. So we don't have 0.052 in the table, that's why we need to interpolate. So for error 0.06 mm, we have C value is 712 Newton per millimeter, and for error 0.0652 mm, we need to find out C value. So by linear interpolations, we obtain a 773.71 Newton per millimeter. So if you compare those two, the values are more or less the same. Okay, that is 775.66 Newton per mm. This is 773.71 Newton per mm. So either this value or this value you can take. As I mentioned that the table 12.12 is suitable only for materials which are steel and cast iron. It is not suitable for bronze or any other materials. Okay, so take either C is equal to 775.6 Newton per millimeter or 773.71 Newton per millimeter. I take C is equal to 775.66 Newton per millimeter. You know that higher value of FD is not desirable, because for safe design, wear load or wear strength FW must be greater than FD. Okay, so if you take higher value here, so FD will be higher, so that will make FW more stronger than FD. So that's why I have taken 775.66. Slightly it gives us a higher FD. So either you can take 775.66 Newton per mm or 773.71 Newton per mm. It's not a much difference. So after substituting those values, we get a dynamic load FD is equal to 20,660.80 Newton. So actually in the procedure, comprehensive procedure, the steps 6 and 7 are calculation of endurance strength and comparison of endurance strength with the dynamic load. Since BHN is not known, so we shall consider these steps after knowing BHN. So BHN can be obtained by comparing wear load and dynamic load. Step 8, wear load. We know that FW is the wear load, that's equal to D1 BQK, where D1 is pitch diameter of the pinion, that's equal to 96 mm, and the small b is face width, that's equal to 60 mm, and Q is equal to 2Z2 by Z2 plus Z1. So that's also equal to 2 D2 by D2 plus D1. So after substituting these values, we get Q is equal to 1.724. And we know that for safe design, FW must be greater than or equal to FD. That is, wear load must be greater than or equal to dynamic load. So now let us have FW is equal to FD. That is, D1 BQK is equal to FD. So substituting values for D1, BQ and FD, we get K is equal to 2.08. For steel pinion and steel gear for 20-degree pressure angle, the nearest higher value of standard K is equal to 2.189. That's from table 12.16, and corresponding BHN is 400 for pinion and 350 for gear. And average BHN is 400 plus 350 by 2, that's equal to 375. So let us take the K value is equal to 2.189. Now substituting this K value in equation for FW, that's the wear load. So we get wear load FW is equal to 21,737.30 Newton, which is greater than that is FD, the dynamic load, 20,660.8 Newton, that is 80 Newton. Therefore, since FW is greater than FD, the design is satisfactory. Now let us calculate endurance strength of the weaker member, that is gear. So endurance strength FEN is given by FEN is equal to sigma En B Y M. Sigma n as the endurance limit that can be obtained from the table 12.15. So we know that BHN of gear material is 350. For steel with BHN is equal to 350, we have sigma En is equal to 583.5 Newton per millimeter squared, and B is face width, that's equal to 60 mm. Capital Y is pi into Y. So here in this case it is pi Y2. So Y2 is 0.1655, and M is the module, that is 6 mm. So now substituting these values for FAN, we get FAN as 109217.25, 1,09,217.25 Newton. So now the ratio FAN by FD gives us 5.28, or FAN is equal to 5.28 times FD. The recommended value for shock loads is FAN is equal to 1.50 FD, 50 times FD. Since the obtained value is greater than the recommended value, the design is satisfactory. And the margin of safety is given by MS is equal to FAN by FD minus 1, that is 5.28 minus 1 gives us 4.28. Margin of safety MS is equal to 4.28. So hence design is satisfactory. Design is satisfactory. Thank you.